Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at some stocks on the move today. I'm Tim Stenevec along with Carol Master, and we're joined by Bloomberg News cross-asset reporter Emily Griffeo. Emily, you got a lot to choose from in the after hours today.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot moving. Let's start with FedEx, ticker FDX, because it was up 7% in the post-market. Now it's pared those gains ever so slightly. It's still up over 6%. They reinstated their full year profit outlook. So remember, everyone was canceling their outlooks. People were pulling guidance. They were saying there's too much uncertainty. FedEx was one of those companies that did that. They had previously withheld their full year profit forecast, citing an inability to predict how demand would be shaped by tariffs. And now they said adjusted earnings will be $17.20 to $19 a share.
We're back.
So we're back. They said that there's still some uncertainty in shipping volumes when it comes to international export volumes, and that tariffs are weighing on that part of the business.
Yeah.
So it's not like the tariff risk has completely gone away, but this is definitely a sign that one company is seeing a little bit of certainty in the future of their business.
Going into this print, they were beat up. They were crushed this year, down close to 20%.
Yeah,
just going into the year.
They're kind of an economic bellwether. Like obviously, if consumers are pulling back spending,
Right.
they're not going to be shipping things. So
Yeah, to come back and say from no visibility, right? Or not willing to commit to, all right, we got it. We're good. I should point out UPS also up 2.6% in the aftermarket. So lifting it, they're not the same exact companies, but it did definitely lift that one in the aftermarket too.
yeah, finally some positive news.
Another IPO.
Yeah, it's been hot recently. There's been a lot of IPOs. I feel like in the last couple weeks, bullish. Klarna, Netskope is the IPO of the day. So it was up 18% on its first day trading as a public company. They're a cloud security platform. They said that some of their customers are Colgate, Home Depot, and Bayer. I feel like you usually don't get that information. Like, who are your customers? But they have,
You can get it on the Bloomberg terminal.
yeah, there it is. That's true. You can get it on the Bloomberg terminal.
It's one of our favorite functions.
Cloud security, they do
It's
network.
SPLC, right?
Yes, PLC.
Yeah, that's one of my
Yes.
favorites.
They do network transformation, security modernization, framework solutions in financial services and insurance, legal education, manufacturing, and public sectors.
So cybersecurity?
Yeah. Yes.
$8.6 billion market cap now.
That's right. The IPO drew demand for more than 23 times the available shares, according to what Bloomberg had reported on Tuesday. And it's given a lot of the early backers a pretty big windfall. Lightspeed Venture Partners is one of those that they had invested in this company a very long time ago. And so they made a lot of money that now the company jumped in the IPO.
And not to be confused with Netscape from way back when.
No, not to be confused with Netscape market. But speaking of,
you want to go there.
you do. I mean, I
But
always think of Netscape when I talk
Netskope.
about Netscope. By the way, Lightspeed
Yes.
might be familiar to people because it was the first venture capital firm to invest in Snapchat. And they made a lot of money with that.
Right. So Netskope, ticker
Yes.
NTSK.
Okay, one ticker we are so familiar with. We've talked about it a lot today. Are we going to go there?
We're going to go there. Maybe I have more questions for you guys than you have questions for me. If
Okay,
you've been
let's
talking about
try.
it so much. We're talking about Intel, ticker INTC. It was up as much as 30% today. That's humongous. That's a really big jump for a company that has a market cap in the hundreds of billions. And it was up because NVIDIA agreed to invest $5 billion in Intel. This confused me. Like, this is like Burger King and McDonald's like teaming up.
Have you met the technology sector? They're frenemies.
Yeah.
They kind of compete, but then they kind of work together.
Then they work together.
Yeah.
So this was really good for Intel's stock. They've obviously been a struggling chip maker. And so this is a move that I guess the market sees as something that's going to prop them up.
I just want to remind everybody that
Yes.
if you're a taxpayer here in the U.S., you are an owner of Intel.
That's right.
Because the U.S. government is one of the largest shareholders. And in fact, if you go to HDS on the Bloomberg terminal, which I just did.
I did this earlier. It blew my mind. The number 3 shareholder, right?
After BlackRock, after Vanguard, United States of America.
Kind of blew my mind.
I don't think I've really ever seen that, right?
I've never seen that.
Yeah,
no.
I'm always running HDS on an ETF. And so sometimes you'll see like a Finnish pension fund. But this is really wonderful to see. This is so interesting. I've just never seen that. So yeah, BlackRock, Vanguard, USA, NVIDIA, not up there. It was just $5 billion in Intel, but we'll see what happens next.
And I think this also has to do with the general purpose processing chips, right? That Intel is really involved in. And I think there's a way of like combining this with all of the, I guess, data center needs.
And what's interesting is
it kind of makes some sense there.
Ed Ludlow told us that this deal came together before the US's ownership of Intel came about. So,
although like, it's interesting.
It is interesting, Carol.
Right? It is.
It's a good time to be covering this story.
Yeah. And you were right to be like perplexed.
Yeah, I was like, I thought they were competitors.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.